The Apple Watch Series 5 came out on September 20th, 2019 in GPS and cellular models. This featured the first always-on display on Apple Watch, improved navigation and compass features, Watch OS 6, which had a whole slew of improvements, and other big improvements over the Series 4 and older models. I've had this Apple Watch Series 5 for a little while now. I want to let you know what I like about it, what I don't like about it, how it's held up now being 4 years old in 2023, and should you upgrade if you have an Apple Watch Series 5, if you're looking at upgrading, or if you're looking at buying, is the Apple Watch Series 5 a good purchase in 2023? So, love to talk a lot more about all those things. Let's get into it and let's talk tech. I'm Arnell with Arnley Tech. So, there's a lot of great pros about the Apple Watch Series 5. Even though this is a 4-year-old smartwatch, it actually holds up really well all this time later. Let's get into the first pro, which is personally my favorite, the always-on display. I love that this is the first Apple Watch that actually implements the always-on display. It's great being able to just casually glance down and being able to tell the time. I am in so many instances of being in meetings at work or, hanging out with friends, just talking to people face to face, and I don't want to do a whole wrist motion just to check the time to, make the other person feel uncomfortable, make them feel like I have somewhere else that's more important to be. It's just nice being able to casually glance down, not make it a whole big thing, and just kind of keep it moving. The next pro that I really enjoy is the complications that are on this Apple Watch. So there's lots of different complications, things such as your weather widgets, your heart rate monitoring, your activity rings. You have all these different things that you can customize very well to not only show you the time in the specific way that you want to see the time, whether it's digital or analog, but you can also customize it to be able to see just the weather and be able to see just the highs and the lows for the day, or be able to see the whole forecast for the rest of the day. It's great having that full functionality and being able to customize all this stuff within the app so that your Apple Watch experience feels pretty tailored to you. Next up, for what I really like about it, is that these are the perfect size options for me. So there is the 40mm as the small one, or the 44mm as the large one. I personally have the 44mm, and I really like the form factor of this. It does not feel too big on my wrist. It doesn't feel too obtrusive. It's just nice having this form factor and this size, and it's just great being able to have all that real estate to be able to see all the different complications and all the different widgets on my watch face. 44mm for me personally is the perfect size. Next, I really enjoy the water resistance. So this is water resistant up to 50 meters, and that means that I can go swimming, I can take this in the shower, and I can wash my hands, not have to worry about stuff splashing onto it and killing the watch. It's great. It's very durable, and you also have the ability to turn the crown. If there's enough water in it, you can turn the crown, which will release some water. And so it's just nice having this very capable watch be as water resistant as it is. And of course, there are other smartwatches and just watches in general that are far more water resistant than this is. But this is a good water resistance for, the large population that actually have Apple Watches. Not very many people are going deep sea diving, but if you are, there is the Apple Watch Ultra, which we did a little video on talking about the differences between the Apple Watch Ultra and some of the other models, so definitely check that out. But for most people, the water resistance on this is just fine. Next up, what I absolutely love is the compatibility with my phone. So this allows me to send text messages, read text messages, be able to start FaceTime audio calls, and control even my camera on my phone. If I prop it up somewhere, I can actually use my watch as a remote control to be able to see exactly what my phone can see. It's not anything new to this Apple Watch, but just in general, I really like that feature has stuck around. For newer phones that have Face ID, like myself, I have a 13 mini, I'm actually able to unlock my phone with my watch. So if I'm trying to unlock my phone and my face is covered or I'm not even looking at it, I'm able to actually unlock my phone automatically if my watch is on my wrist and my watch is unlocked, and vice versa. If my phone is unlocked and my Apple Watch, I just put it on but I forgot to put in my passcode, I'm able to actually just unlock my watch with just my phone, and it's all just very seamless. It doesn't require me to press any buttons, just because that sheer compatibility is just so great. It just works so well. So real quick, before I get into the cons, I just want to remind you that if you are somebody that's ever been confused by tech or somebody that just wants to learn more about it, definitely subscribe for more videos like this. We here at Art and Lee Tech believe that tech was made to make our lives easier, and so we're here to help you understand and discover that tech that helps improve your lives. So moving on to the cons, there's not a whole lot, but there's enough here that are a little bit of an annoyance for me that I tend to notice some of these things throughout the day. A lot of them I can just kind of brush over and just not really worry about, but I know for some people these are things that you definitely want to consider if you're looking at picking up an Apple Watch Series 5 for yourself. So first, while I love the digital crown on the side of the Apple Watch, it has a very great feel, and it feels great when you're scrolling through things and you feel the clicks. It feels great. But there are times when I don't want to use it and it's being activated whether I like it or not. So if a lot of times what ends up happening is I'm putting my hand in my pocket and I'm listening to music or I'm watching a video, and all of a sudden the video that I'm watching all of a sudden just goes really quiet because the volume goes down. And that's because you can use your digital crown to adjust your volume. But if there are times when, like, I'm putting my hand in my pocket or I'm brushing my hand up against something else, the crown gets moved and activated, and it then changes the volume and it kind of disrupts whatever I'm doing. And so for some people, it's not really going to be an issue, because for some people, they might not ever use that feature. They might not ever really care. And for some other people, they might actually use cases on their watch. And so certain cases will actually block the ability to accidentally hit the digital crown. And so that's kind of a way that you can work around it as well if you're looking into getting this watch or an Apple Watch in general, but you don't want to have to deal with that issue. The second con is that I do notice this watch on my wrist throughout the day. Just casually walking around, moving my wrist around, I do feel the weight of this watch, and it's not really that big of a deal, except for when you're actually trying to sleep with the watch. And it's interesting because you are able to get more than a day's worth of use out of your Apple Watch, and so you can actually continue to have certain things monitoring while you're sleeping, but it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. And most people can agree to this, that Apple Watches are not very comfortable to wear at night. Even the new ones, while they have gotten a little bit lighter, they are still noticeably heavy. And so it's just kind of a trade-off that is, for some people, not a big deal, but for others, that's something that you might want to look at. So I briefly mentioned it, but I want to talk a little bit more about the battery life. So the battery life on the Apple Watch Series 5 is still pretty good. I can pretty easily get through just about a day's worth of usage out of the watch and end my day with about 30%. It's very rare that I actually hit that power reserve feature, and that's with me using always on display, constantly using my watch, so that's great. But what I would love to see, especially with the always on feature, is being able to get through at least 2 days worth of use out of this watch. And that's just something that I know I'm not able to do. So I know that that's kind of a first world problem. I can always just turn off always on display and get a little bit more extra juice out of it, but I just kind of want the best of both worlds. Unfortunately, that's not something that I can do with the Series 5. Lastly is an issue that is not something that plagues the Series 5 specifically, but it is something that any Apple Watch owner can probably attest to, and that is the proprietary charger. So you have to use the specific Apple Watch charger that is made for Apple Watches. You cannot use MagSafe chargers. You can't plug this in like a regular iPhone with the Lightning port. There's no regular wireless charging compatibility. You have to use an Apple Watch certified charger. Even with the Series 8 and the Ultra, you you are still stuck using the proprietary Apple Watch charger. And that's just something that to me is kind of silly, especially in 2023. It would be nice if I could have multiple ways to charge my Apple Watch. You can do that with the AirPod Pros that just came out, the second generation. And there's multiple ways that you can charge your iPhone. So it would be nice to be able to have multiple options to be able to charge your Apple Watch. But as of the time of this video, that's not a possibility. So what will I rate this? I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. This is a great Apple Watch, especially given the prices that you can get them for. We'll have affiliate links down below for you to check them out on Amazon, and you can definitely check out all the different price ranges and the different size options that you need. Despite the cons, there's still a lot to love about this watch. Having that always on display that does not absolutely kill your battery life, and being able to use the watch in full functionality with newer iPhones with Face ID, it's just great being able to have that compatibility, have that Apple product that talks very well to another Apple product. And for the price that you can get these for, I got mine used for $70. That's probably why I have some scratches on it and the paint is starting to come off on some of the sides. But for me, that's not a problem. I mean, these are very affordable watches, and it's just great being able to find a good, affordable watch that does not feel old and ancient. The performance is great, doesn't feel sluggish at all. Those cons, though, that's just enough for it to knock it down to an 8 out of 10. But those are my thoughts. I'd love to know your thoughts about it. Now, if you are somebody that just watched this video and you're not particularly leaning towards getting an Apple Watch anymore, maybe you're thinking about Fitbit, definitely check out this video over here, which is the Fitbit Charge 5. Adrian did a review on that, and we'd love to start a conversation of which you prefer more, the Apple Watch or the Fitbit, and the functionalities between the two. Or if you're somebody that is looking at still getting a Series 8, you heard all the great things about the Series 5, but you wanted to look at some of the other key improvements that the Series 8 has, like crash detection and ovulation tracking and all the other improvements that they have there, well, definitely stay tuned for a review on that, because we do have a Series 8 in-house currently reviewing that, and we'd love to share that video with you soon. So, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.